Wyoming Senator John Barrasso heads the Senate Republican Policy Committee. Sir, how are you? And good day to you. You're also a doctor, and this is shades of 2010 and the numerous times you appeared to talk about Obamacare and why you were opposed to it. So this is going to happen. So Republicans under President Trump will repeal and replace Obamacare. Is that right?
That is absolutely the plan. That's what the American people voted for, Bill. People want relief from a health care law that has raised costs, raised premiums, raised deductibles, and has taken away their care. And Tom Price is the right person at the Department of Health and Human Service to do that. Like me, he is a doctor. He's worked with patients. He knows the importance of taking care of families and giving them relief from what's happening with the health care law. He's also been in the state legislature in Georgia, and he knows that states are much more better prepared to deal with these sorts of things than Washington one-size-fits-all approach.
The Democrats are going to give you a fight on this, as you know. Chuck Schumer on the Senate side said this just yesterday.
Between this nomination of an avowed Medicare opponent and Republicans here in Washington threatening to privatize Medicare, it's clear that Washington Republicans are plotting a war on seniors next year.
So there it is, war on seniors. What do you say?
Well, when you take a look to the Obama health care law, the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars they've taken away from Medicare for our seniors to pay for Obamacare shows that it was the Democrats who are actually at war with seniors. We want to take care of people all across the country so people can get the care they need from a doctor they choose at lower costs. So families don't have to worry about all these headaches that they've had under this very costly and complicated Obamacare scheme. I want to work with people on both sides of the aisle. The reason that we ended up with Obamacare is that the Democrats said, we know better, we know what's right, and we're going to do it our way. They wrote the law behind closed doors in Harry Reid's office, and people were left out of the decision. We want to make sure that people are involved from all around the country, and specifically the states. So we want them, the states and individuals, to have freedom and flexibility and choice that they don't have under Obamacare.
Tom Price, as you know, former orthopedic surgeon before going to Congress, and he apparently has had his own plan to repeal and replace for about 10 years. Easier said than done? Not a single Republican voted for Obamacare. As you stand there today, how many Democrats would vote for repeal and replace?
You know, we were able to put a repeal bill on President Obama's desk last year that he vetoed. We're going to be able to do that in the coming year with President Trump in the White House. He will sign that. The replacement isn't going to be a big 2,000-page bill that we wheel down to the Senate well in a wheelbarrow. It is going to be a step-by-step, smooth transition over a couple of years to make sure we can fully replace the patient-centered care that people want.
That bill weighed a lot, and we saw the pictures. How do you think Mr. Trump's doing so far?
Oh, I think he's doing very well. You take a look at this cabinet that he's named, and we can just start with Tom Price, a doctor who has experience taking care of families and who has served in a state legislature. I mean, just contrast that with Barack Obama, his first Secretary of Health and Human Services. He brought on somebody who was a lobbyist for the trial lawyers. So you take a look at who's really focused on the needs of the people out there. I think Donald Trump made an excellent choice with Tom Price. But you can go across the cabinet that way. But also, I think just the selection of Mike Pence as vice president. I talked to the vice president-elect last evening. I'll tell you, you cannot find a more solid, steady, sure-footed individual to be there assisting the president of the United States, Mike Pence. So he's doing well.
You sound very optimistic. I would assume a Republican majority has a lot to do with that.
Well, I'm very optimistic about the future for our country as well as for our party in terms of jobs, the economy, national security. I think that the American people are in for a future that, for me, I'm very optimistic about.
Senator, thank you for your time. John Barrasso, the Republican from Wyoming. Good to have you back on our program.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Thank you.